So things are really moving ahead in the world of decarbonised steel in the UK. Recently we'd signed a contract with Tenova for the new electric arc furnace at Talbot. Swiftly following that we went up to JCB in Staffordshire to talk about the memorandum of understanding with them to take green steel for the yellow goods sector. Today we've come down to London to a retail show which is supported by Retail Week and the Grocer, Live 2025, and it's a place where Tata Steel are present and launching a campaign called Electrifying Packaging Steel. So delighted to be joined today by Marketing Manager Adrian Davies for packaging. Adrian, you're launching this campaign today here in London. Tell me a bit about what Electrifying Packaging Steel is all about.
Yeah, so it's our new marketing campaign, making the point to brands and retail how we are decarbonising steel making for packaging and increasing recycled content.
Yeah, because it's a big sector for us, of course, packaging. And here with the retail exhibition, how much interest have you had in the stand from some of those brand owners and retail giants?
Yeah, it's mostly been supermarkets, but all the big supermarkets you recognise in the UK, and all sorts of different roles, and we've had some great discussions about innovation and sustainability and decarbonisation.
Yeah, because I guess the story for you is about when the electric arc furnace comes on stream. It's a different way of making steel, higher recycled content because the steel will be made from scrap. You know, what are the key messages you're telling to some of those retail giants?
Yeah, so we've got a three-piece can here, a food can, so a soup or baked beans, and we're showing this to visitors and sort of explaining, look, the can will look the same in 2030, but it'll have half the CO2 footprint it does today and 3 times the level at least of recycled content.
Wow, that is actually quite amazing, isn't it? You're halving the carbon footprint of this ubiquitous steel packaging in 3 years.
Yeah, it's an incredible transformation for such a massive industry, and it's, of course, thanks to £1.25 billion investment.
Yeah. So tell me how you're going to halve the carbon footprint of a steel can.
It's predominantly, in sort of simple terms, it's getting rid of fossil fuels. So it really comes from stopping using coal in our Port Talbot site. That's the vast majority of the reduction.
Yeah, and you talked then about tripling recycled content. Now, many people may not realise that the blast furnace route of steel making already included a lot of recycled content. But where are we going to from there?
Yeah, so last year, for example, recycled content for Tata Steel UK was 17%, so we're talking in packaging steels of at least 50% recycled content. It could be higher, but at least 50%, which that's a really attractive message for brands, for retailers and for consumers as well.
Yeah, I can imagine that must be competing with some of the best in any sector, I should think, in terms of recycled content. Now, the challenge, I guess, for you is, of course, that electric arc furnace is not going to be up and running end of 27, early 2028. You know, it's going to go through some commissioning time. That's like 2 or 3 years away. Aren't you promising jam tomorrow? What evidence can you give to people that kind of we're on this journey already?
Yeah, I think that's a fair challenge. We are on this journey already, as you say. We started last year already in Port Talbot through the blast furnace and the Boss plant. We were making what we call simulated EAF, so we were making EAF chemistries using our blast furnace, and our customers already have made three-piece cans from those steels, and also some kind of DWI cups as well.
Yeah, so of course we haven't got the blast furnace and steel plant anymore. So has that programme come to an end until we've got electric arc furnace, or is there any other confidence we can give our customers in the supply chain?
No, we'll continue working through a trial programme for the next few years ahead of launch. So by 2030 we're fully ready with our full suite of packaging products.
Yeah, and it is one of the sectors that people are interested in. I understand that today's the launch in London. I know the press release has gone out. Up to Birmingham, I think, you guys tomorrow. What's happening up there?
Yeah, so we'll be in Birmingham tomorrow and Thursday, and we'll be at the Packaging Innovations exhibition in the NEC, and our colleagues Nick Silk, head of CTS and product market development, and Sarah Passmore, our commercial manager, they'll be giving a talk again on Electrifying Packaging Steel, but to a slightly different audience.
Yeah, now you've got an interesting role, I guess, Adrian, because as marketing manager, you're constantly talking to our customers and people through the supply chain. You've got some products here. You've talked about the recycled content. You've talked about the lower carbon footprint. I also noticed you've got a virtual reality headset, which is giving people a vision of what their electric arc furnace will look like. When you talk to customers in the supply chain, is this journey to net zero their single biggest topic of conversation, or are there other issues that they're facing that we're also helping them with?
I think for steel packaging, it's kind of there's lots of areas. Of course, cost is always up there in all businesses, but in terms of the shelf life of the product, this kind of up to 5 years shelf life is really quite incredible. The nutrition in the can, it's I'd say the most nutritious option you could go for. Recyclability, recycling rate, it's the highest recycling rate of any packaging material there is. So a lot of those things, they already work, but emissions probably is at the bottom of the list. Emissions are too high today. So I think we fix emissions, we increase recycled content, and then it's a super format of packaging. Yeah,
so it sounds like pushing out an open door, and the investment, as you said, 1.25 billion by the government and the company in low CO2 steels, that should really help you in your job, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. So this is a really exciting proposition. It's almost, it made it easy for me. It's great.
Listen, Adrian, thanks very much for joining us today. So there you have it, another critical sector for Tata Steel in the UK, the packaging sector. We've talked about JCB and yellow goods. We're now talking about the packaging sector. Hopefully get some customers on board to do something similar to signing up to taking green steels in the future. Clearly a big motivator in the sector all the way through from steel makers to can makers, brand owners and retail outlets, demonstrating that here today, demonstrating it in Birmingham tomorrow. Adrian's great story. Good luck with the campaign, Electrifying Packaging Steel's campaign, and hopefully come back and talk to you in months to come and see how it's going.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks a lot.